Good morning. This is Mona, and this is my morning view today, Fall Edition 2025. Winter Wonderland. All right. It is nearing the end of fall. This week may be the final week of fall. So, because I know the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, yeah, fall's winter's going to be here this weekend. So, it's one more week of fall. And then we start winter. All right, today it is Memory Monday. Boy, I'm feeling a little bit feisty today, even though it's not Friday. All right, let's move right along. It is Memory Monday. Memory Monday. And today I'm going to talk about Mary. And I'm pulling her out of Memory Monday because there are other there's other Christmas editions, December editions of me talking about the Nativity and the scene of the Nativity. And when I done them in the past, I think I have more content than what I have now with what I'm going to say. I don't know. Maybe it'll all be said. It's a possibility. So we're going to go with Mary right now. We're going to go with probably multiple times talking about Mary this week. And the part that I'm going to talk about today is when the archangel Gabriel, the messenger angel, came to Mary to explain to her what she was chosen for. Now, remember, the angel went to Zechariah, and Zechariah is like, and how is this supposed to happen? I'm an old man. You know, more of a negative tone. Remember, God looks at the heart and not you know, sometimes we can say things. I said something this week about something, and I said it, the same exact words, and I said it two different ways in the same paragraph, possibly in the same sentence. And the person looked at me confused, and I go, do you see the difference in what I'm trying to say? Because here it means one thing, and there it means something else. And so, with that, this is what happens with Mary. Mary asks Gabriel the same question. How is this supposed to be, as I have known no man? Okay, in other words, she is a virgin. And so, all she really had to do was say yes, but she asked the question. I think the question is there to show us the difference between the heart of Zechariah in finding out a prophetic word and the heart of Mary in finding out a prophetic word. So Mary asked the same exact question, but it wasn't in reference to, I don't believe it. It was more of, well, how could this be? What's, you know, can you let me in on a few details? But then she goes, but let it be whatsoever the Lord wants. Basically, that's what he said. You know, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying everything verbatim, because guess what? Different phrases, different versions, different translations, they say different words. But the meaning of it is whatever you want, Lord. My answer is yes. I don't know how it's going to happen. I have questions. But regardless, my answer is yes. And that is the key difference between Zechariah and Mary. Zechariah is like, I don't believe it. I'm an old man. And now you're giving me a son? Did he forget Abraham? He was a priest. Did he forget Abraham and Sarah? Did he forget them? Did he forget Hannah when Hannah wasn't old, beyond her bearing years, and she was given Samuel, and then after Samuel, she was given 5 more. Yeah, she was her quiver. She went beyond because God is extravagant. So with that, he must have forgotten. As a priest, he must have forgotten that God can do anything. But Mary, even though she had questions, said yes. Whatsoever you say, whatever you want from me. The answer is yes. And so, that is really my morning view. That's the deep down part of it. Okay, now, don't forget to go over to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison. You'll see my white hair. You'll see my beautiful face. You will know you are in the right spot where you can subscribe right there. So go ahead and subscribe it right there if you're watching on YouTube. And if not, run over to YouTube now. Run over there. You can watch the end of this video tonight or tomorrow there. Okay? So run now to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison, and hit subscribe. Like, share, comment. Both Facebook and YouTube helps the algorithm, helps other people get a chance to view the video. All right. Now, I'm not too caught up on numbers. They said I could do videos when I reached 100. I really haven't attempted that. I've reached 100. So, or it may have been 50. I don't even remember. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the numbers. God will bring the people who needs to hear it and to see it. However, it's always helpful if you help the algorithm so that more people do see it, and maybe they'll share, or maybe they need to hear it. Something like that. Okay. Now, if you have not guessed, it is Ugly Sweater Day today. But I'm not just wearing an ugly sweater. I'm wearing a pig outfit with an ugly sweater. And I have a Santa hat to go with it. So, there's that. I don't know if I can bring it up with my pink hat right now, because I got to keep a hat on my head to keep me warm, because it is cold. It's cold today. So, yes, so piggy outfit. There's my snout. I have a tail. And I have a Santa hat to go with it. So it's a pig and a Santa hat and an ugly sweater. Yeah, I just can't do the little bit. I got to bring it out. All right. So there we have it. All right. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Remember, oh, you know what? I'm not done. Let me tell you another little thing about Mary. Mary was not only a virgin. See, she was probably about 15, right? Because back in that day, you didn't wait until you were in the United States. You're considered legally an adult. Now, when I was in school, there was a lot of kids that got married straight out of high school. That it's what they did. I'm from the West Coast. Now, since then, I've been gone for a very long time. Things travel. The way things are, travel, right? So when I got out here to the East Coast at the age of 21 and had gotten married at the age of 21, people were like, oh, that's young. And it's like, it's not young for the military. And it's not young out where I'm from, because 18 is the average age of people getting married, not 21. But see, on the East Coast, they had this idea that you graduate from high school, you go to college, you establish your career, and then you think about dating for marriage. Everything else is just fun, right? Except for dating should be about getting to know people to see whether that's the individual you would like to be with for the rest of your life, and not just for fun. That gets a lot of people into trouble. Now, back then, more than likely, it was an arranged marriage. Not necessarily. And Mary was betrothed to Joseph. But they had not consummated the marriage yet. They have not consummated the marriage. So there was like a year-long betrothal that would happen. And, you know, again, I've witnessed here on the East Coast people dating for a very, very, very long time, and then they get engaged for a very, very, very long time. Everybody's ideas of how things should be can be viewed odd. It can be viewed odd. Now, you have to remember, like in the 1600s and even in the early 1900s, girls got married at the age of 16 without anybody questioning or be like, what's with that? So you have to remember not only the culture, but the times. And so, with that, Mary was betrothed at probably about 15. Now, I don't know how deep to get this because this is on Facebook and YouTube is marked for non-children. But basically, it was when a girl came of age, when she started to menstruate. That's when she became available for the marriage procession, if you will. That she would come out as, okay, I'm ready now, right? Had to do with you wore your flower in your hair on one side, and now you get to wear your flower on the hair on the other side. So the dudes knew you were ready for marriage. And a lot of times we get caught up in our nowadays Western culture that says, oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. She's a child. She's 15 years old. She's a child. You have to understand culture and times. Like I said, it was not odd, even in the United States, to marry at 15, 16 years old. Back in the day, and not that far back in the day. Remember, the United States isn't very old as it is, but, you know. So, there was something else about that culture. That if you became pregnant out of wedlock, that could have been your life. You could have been stoned. You could have been stoned. But Mary was trusting in God so much to say her yes against odds against her. That Joseph may say, forget you, I'm not the one that slept with you, so I'm not having you. He could have totally done that. He could have totally shamed her. She could have been stoned. She could have been left with nothing. And yet, she told God yes, because she trusted that if God gave her this prophetic word, and this prophetic word was to take place, then this prophetic word was going to happen. Complete faith in her God. How much faith do we have when we're presented with something that the odds are stacked up against us? And all we have to do is say yes to God. Whether all these things are stacked up against us or not. Whether all these things stacked up against us will crumble down on top of us or not. That we trust that God is going to do what He says He's going to do through us. And that He has our interest in His hand. He has our interest in mind. That all things work together for our good. So even if we should die, like Paul said, To die is to gain. That doesn't mean we take ourselves out. That doesn't mean we put ourselves in positions where we can be taken out early. You know, there's once for a man appointed to die. Yes, you have an appointment of when you're going to die. Shouldn't be from disease, and it shouldn't be from at a young age. But you know what happens? Sin. Sin happens, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your sin. So evil things happen in this world. Jesus died at the age of 33. He ended this life on earth. He did not end his eternal life. Earth is temporal. So just because we leave this earth, because we did something that we said yes to, and it cost us our life, like the apostles, like the martyrs of old, like current martyrs. You don't hear about them much in the United States, but they're happening. They're happening in Nigeria. Several years back, the Coptic Christians in Egypt. Modern day martyrs as well. They end their life here on this earth because of murderers. But their life is not over. And their reward is in the presence of Jesus. That close friendship. That I knew your name. I know you. You know me. But that doesn't mean we take ourselves out. Oh, because I'm tired of this world and I don't want to be here anymore, so I'm just going to go with Jesus. No, that's not how that works. That's not how it works. Your time is appointed. If somebody else ends that while you're serving God, while you're saying your yes to Him, there's a greater reward. We just got to trust in the Lord. We got to trust that He knows what He's doing. And that's what Mary did. Mary trusted in God, regardless of all the stuff stacked up against her. All right. At the age of 15. All right. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. I have to take off my glove now. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for Tips Tuesday. All right.